Going on, guys? Orange Swarm coming at you guys today with another video. Gonna be talking a little bit about Jared Goff, the new quarterback for Detroit Lions, and who is he gonna be throwing the ball to? Okay. Now we're not gonna get into his contract right now. His contract is big, gets better though a little bit down the road. This is kind of an experiment. Personally, I think it's an experiment. 2-year window, possibly one. And they can save money down the line if so needed be. It's not a guarantee that's going to happen, but whatever. But I'm not going to get into the numbers or anything like that. I want to talk about who is he throwing the football to. Now, this is a big issue going into the 2021 season. Quinn Trisha completely jacked this up. Bob Quinn beat it up, man. Awful. Whatever he did there was just, I don't even know what he was thinking. But he literally had guys gone, like Kenny Galladay, going to be gone. Marvin Jones, not going to re-sign. Danny Amendola, either going to retire or move on. Mohamed Sanu, he picked up halfway through the season. Beyond, actually. Free agent as well. Jamal Agnew, another free agent. Wide receiver experiment. And who else? Marvin Hall, they ended up releasing during the season. He ended up getting picked up by the Browns. He's not coming back. They released Travis Fulgham and kept Jamal Agnew on the roster, thinking that was going to be big or the right decision. Turned out to be the wrong decision. Fulgham had a really nice run for about 4 or 5 games, and then kind of fell off the face of the earth. But our whole situation for our wide receivers is abysmal. We have 2 wide receivers on the roster. 2. One of them's wide receiver Quintez Cephas, second-year guy coming in, fifth round pick from last year out of Wisconsin, who was basically a number 4, became a little bit of a number 3 with some injuries. Had a couple decent games, nothing special, couple touchdowns, but he's basically a number 3. He's basically your number 3 wide receiver coming into the 2021 season. Maybe can become that number 2. Don't really know. Not too sure yet. What I've seen from him, I liked, but it's a whole, you know what I mean? It's a whole wait and see process for me. Then another guy, wide receiver Geronimo Allison, who we signed last year, who was a Packer for a couple of years, and he was probably going to struggle to even make the team last year, and he opted out for COVID-19. So he opted out, so he's not even a Lion right now. But he's a Lion, but he never played it down last year. So we have 2 wide receivers. One being probably a number 3, maybe number 2, and this Geronimo Allison guy is kind of reminds me of Marvin Hall. Kind of reminds me of Marvin Hall. He's a deep threat guy, can catch a couple balls, but might struggle to make the roster. Don't know what's going on with him. Now, you can make a couple. Then we got guys like DeAndre Swift coming back. Kerryon Johnson, who I think would be a cap casualty. You can save like $1.5 million, whatever, by cutting him or trading him. I don't think you're going to be able to trade for him. You're not going to get no capital back. And then you have DeAndre Swift, who is receiving back as well, who is a weapon, but he's not a wide receiver. He's going nowhere. And then you got your tight ends, T.J. Hawkinson, who was a stud last year, caught about 70 balls, I think. Had a pretty big year. We're going to need him to step up big time in 2021. Then you got Hunter Bryant, an undrafted free agent out of Washington, who caught maybe 1 or 2 balls. Was hurt a lot, concussions. I think he might have hurt a shoulder, leg. He's had problems. He had problems in college with injuries. Now he had problems in his first year as a rookie, undrafted free agent rookie as a Detroit Lion, and got on the field for maybe 2 games. So he's a question mark. But I like him a lot. I do like him a lot. I just don't know what kind of snaps he'll be getting coming into 2000 season. But like I said, though, Quinn completely destroyed this wide receiver unit. Destroyed it, making all these guys free agents at the same time. Guys don't know if they want to come back. Marvin Jones wants to go to LA to be with his boy Stafford. Kenny Galladay just turned down a $16 million a year offer from the Detroit Lions. That's the report that's just coming out right now. $16 million. So He's saying, no, I think he's personally pricing himself out of Detroit. I don't think he wants to be here. So he's doing that to himself and or to the organization, pretty much pricing himself out of their price range because the Lions have no money. They're literally 10 million over the cap. 10 million over the cap, and they're going to have to make money moves. They're going to have to cut guys, trade guys, and there's a plethora of guys that they can do that without really getting too much damage on their roster. They can cut guys like Jesse James that can save them some money. Jesse James will actually save them about $2.2 million if they cut him this year. Like I said before, Kerryon Johnson could save you like about $1.3 million. There's guys that they can cut, and then on the defensive side of the ball, it's a whole other thing I'm not going to really get into. But there's guys there that they can actually cut and save money. But like I said too, Kenny Golladay turning down a $16 million a year offer, so he's asking probably for $18 to $20 million. The Lions could franchise tag him. I think the franchise tag is at about 17 plus. I don't know the exact number, but it's a big number. $16 million to offer him is pretty big. But they could franchise tag him, have him as a Lion for a year. Either he plays or they franchise him and they trade him. They could do that to get more capital, which I think would be smart because I think somebody would bite on it. I think somebody would give you up at least a second round pick for him. I think somebody would, but he's the type of guy that his mentality is kind of an enigma for me. It's a guy that got hurt a lot. He's missed about 16 games in his NFL career. People say that he faked an injury. I don't want to say that he faked an injury. And he missed 11 games last year as a Detroit Lion. And he went out in that one game, ran one route, and then just put his hands up and said, "I'm gone, done." And he missed the next 11 games. So there was reports that he was fighting with Bob Quinn, not getting along with management, didn't get along with Patricia. Who did? Nobody. So it was a whole plethora of things for Kenny Golladay. So now, do you want to give that guy a lot of money? They offered him a lot of money. Now, easy. Now, maybe somebody will sign and trade. Like we'll sign him, franchise him, trade him. Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe we'll let him walk. I don't think it's smart to let him walk, but if he walks and goes signs another big deal, and we don't sign a wide receiver off the market for big money, we can get a comp pick. So we can get a few comp picks this year. If the Lions are doing this in a rebuilding phase, we can do it like that. So there's options. But anyways, guys, I'm going to talk about that's who they'll be throwing the ball to right now. Quintez Cephas, Hawkinson, Geronimo Allison, Hunter Bryant, and guys like Jesse James so far, and Kerryon Johnson, D Swift. But I can see Kerryon Johnson and Jesse James getting the axe and saving some money. Here are some free agent guys that I like. Some free agent wide receiver that I like, but I don't know if it's going to be plausible. I don't know if it's going to be even doable. I don't even know. But AJ Green, okay, 32 years old, market value at about $6 million right now. Maybe you can offer him a $3-4 million deal on a 1-year deal, prove it deal. Let's see where he's at. He's been banged up for the past 2-3 years now in Cincinnati, but he was one of the best at one point. Now at his age, I don't see him becoming anything special. I don't think he's going to do anything good like that. But he's cheap. He's going to be very, very cheap because he's going to want to prove himself if that's what he chooses to do. And then when I say low ball guys at $3-4 million because he's worth $6 million, I'm not trying to say that the Detroit Lions have any right to even do that because they really don't. They have no right to low ball guys because usually we're overpaying. But this is the situation that we're kind of in, and if it works, it works. It doesn't, it doesn't. So there's a couple guys I'm going to name, then I'm going to name a couple draft guys that I like. I'm not going to get into crazy detail about it. Then there's T.Y. Hilton. Market value at about $10 million. Offer him maybe $7-9 million, see what happens at a 2-3 year deal. He was playing pretty good at the end of the year. Struggled a bit in Indy with Phillip Rivers. But he showed that he still got that juice at the end of the year, his last month and a half or wherever he's playing good football. And then you got Sammy Watkins playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now he's a free agent. Market value at about $10 million. Offer him around $7 or $9 million because he's always banged up. He's always hurt. 1-2 years. He still's got some juice when healthy, so he'd be another option. Marvin Jones. See where he's at, man. It's been known. He made it known that he wants to go to L.A. With his boy Matthew Stafford. He put it all over Twitter. So we'll see what happens there. But he's a $10 million plus guy. Offer him $8-9 million. See where he's at for 3 years. Corey Davis, Tennessee Titan. Didn't really turn it on for the first 2-3 years of his career. Had a really nice year this year. Kind of inconsistent still, but his market value is probably at about $9 million plus. Offer him $7-8 million plus. You know what I mean? For a 4-year deal. That's $7-8 million per. So see where those guys are at. And then you got Curtis Samuel, market value at about $12 million. A little high, I'd say. Offer him about 9 to 10. See where he's at. You know what I mean? He's got some good versatility. He runs the football. He's got speed, got hands. He's a burner. You know what I mean? So he does a little bit of everything. Offer him a 4-year deal. Then you got Nelson Aguilar, who kind of had the dropsies in Philadelphia, got the boot, played pretty well for Derek Carr in Las Vegas there. So he was doing some good things with him, especially the deep ball. He's a deep ball threat. So we offer him about $7-8 million. His market value is at about $9 million. Offer him a 2-year deal. This is what the Lions are going to have to do. They're not. I don't think they're going to go after big free agents like Allen Robinson, Will Fuller. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything like that. They're not going to be able to go after guys like that. You're going to have to go cheap, or you go real cheap, and you pick up guys like John Ross, played for the Cincinnati Bengals, had all kinds of promise, but a lot of injuries, but speed to burn. Or you pick up a Keelan Cole, who's had some decent games for the Jacksonville Jaguars. 2 free agents that they could possibly go after, and those guys will be cheap. They'll be really cheap. They'll be a few $1 million each. You know what I mean? So, or you draft. Now it comes down to the draft. You draft at least 1, maybe 2 wide receivers, but you can't go early because this defense is so junk that you have to fix that defense first. Or you got to sign defensive players because they're going to have to make all kinds of cuts, like I said, and I don't know how many cuts they can make. You know what I mean? But I'm guessing they're going to make cuts to try to get they're $10 million over right now, so they're going to try to probably make cuts to get them to save them about $25-30 million, maybe. So you take 25 away from 10, it's 15. All you got is $15 million to play with. You still got to get under. You still have to sign, and you still have to sign guys like Jared Goff. You still have to sign guys like. I think you have to sign Romeo Okwara. I don't think you can let him walk. You might be able to get him at a discount, but I doubt it. He was a stud at defensive end. But you draft. It's all about the draft, man. There's a couple guys I like. I'm not going to get into crazy detail about them just yet, but I will have videos on that later. But I like Rashad Bateman from Minnesota, Golden Gopher. Not a fast kid, but he wins on all battles. Got great route running, good hands, strong, can jump, 6'2", 210. Big kid. Could maybe become a number 1 with some seasoning. I like him to maybe fall in the 2nd round. I like a guy like Kadarius Toney out of Florida. Got a lot of skill, but has some injury history. And you got guys like Rondale Moore from Purdue, dual threat guy. Kind of reminds me of almost like a Curtis Samuel or a Lynn Bowden from Miami. He plays running back and wide receiver. Can do a little bit of everything. And then you got Marquez Stevenson from Houston, speed demon. It's another guy they can look at. Seth Williams out of Auburn, big kid, athletic. And then you got a guy that I really like a lot, Tamorrion Terry out of Florida State, big and athletic. Could even slip into the 1st round, that guy. Could even slip into the 1st round, but I'm saying he's going to go into the 2nd, but he could slip into the 1st round. Now, a couple of these guys can drop, like Marquez Stevenson, Seth Williams. They might drop to the 3rd, late 2nd. But the Lions can't ignore this. They can't go into the season with Quintez Cephas and just Geronimo Allison at the wide receiver position. They can't. They're going to have to pick somebody up in free agent. It's probably going to be cheap. It's probably going to be a guy like a Nelson Aguilar or literally like a Keelan Cole. I'm telling you. Or AJ Green. You might see an AJ Green come here. I don't know if he's going to want to be here. And the guy was a Bengal for I don't know how many years he was a Bengal. 7, 8 years, maybe longer. 10. Like, you know, I'm drawing a blank, but he's 31, 32 years old. So he's been in the league for a while. And he's playing for the Bengals. He's not going to want to come to Detroit, man. He's not going to want to come to Detroit, but it's an option. If you give him a little bit of more money, if you offer him, like if he's at $6 million, you might have to offer a guy like that $7 million. You don't want to, but that's what his market value. Market value is 6. If you can get away with paying 4, all for it. But we're in trouble, Lions fans. Big time trouble with this. I trust these guys a little bit. They haven't gained my full trust. I like what they're doing so far with bringing in the coaches, bringing in this front office, doing everything. With the trade, I thought we banged it out in the trade. I thought we made out like bandits. I thought we did really well there. But now this is where they got to do their real work right here. Free agent wise, saving money, killing the draft. You have to pick up guys for Jared Goff, because if you let if this is just a throwaway year, I kind of feel for the kid, man. I kind of feel for the kid. We'll know more in the next coming months of what their plans are, because they're going to have to surround him with at least one really good weapon. I just don't think they have the money for it, though, to get an Allen Robinson or to get like a Will Fuller, or a Juju Smith. They don't have that type of money unless they backload it. Unless they backload a bunch of money on the next contract of one of these guys. And then, it's easy on the cap for the first 1 year, 2 year, whatever it is. But then the third, fourth year, whatever kind of deal it is, then you're paying a whole bunch of money. Then you're paying a whole bunch of money when it's called backloading. And if you do that, it's a little bit dangerous. But the Lions don't really have a choice. They're in a lot of trouble. They're in a lot of trouble with this offense, man. You can't have 3-4 wide receivers walk out the door at the same time. How Bob Quinn let that happen is just complete buffoonery. It really is. It really goes to show you how bad that was. And I'm not blaming it all on Bob Quinn for this whole debacle, but he's a big part of this, especially this unit. Like, you can't let even if Stafford was here. Who's he throwing the ball to? Now you got Jared Goff. Not worried about Stafford. Shouldn't be talking about. I'm just saying. Now Jared Goff. Who's he throwing the ball to? Quintez Cephas right now is our number 1 wide receiver. That's scary, man, and not in a good way. It's scary in a bad way. Very scary, very scary. So I trust that they're going to go after someone in the draft. I trust that they're going to get someone in the free agent market. But you're not getting Allen Robinson. I just don't think so. It could happen, but I just don't see it. I just don't see it. It's not financially, responsible, for one, and it's kind of an illusion. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to. If it does, then this is not really a rebuild. You know what I mean? You can't go out and spend a big ton of money on a wide receiver. You know what I mean? So I expect them to be doing their homework on this wide receiver is rich this year in the draft. It's rich. It's very, very deep. So that's one good thing we can look at it. So, but that's the video, guys. A little bit worried about it. I'm sure the boys will handle it. Don't forget to hit the like button. Get those thumbs up going. Like and comment, negative or positive. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the bottom right. Don't forget that notification bell. Get all my videos, man. And let's go Lions. Let's go, man. Boom.